What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we will be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XLM to BTC. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a giant thumbs up, turn on post notifications. This way you don't miss out on any important crypto related news, ways of investing and making money. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. So we are going to be obviously doing some technical analysis later on in today's episode. We will be looking at the current coin market cap, and then we will be discussing someone a little bit known. You probably saw it in the title, known as Jim Breyer. He's a pretty big influence within finance. A lot of people know of him. Hopefully you guys do. If you don't, I will enlighten you today. But otherwise, let's move on to today's episode. So we are going to be looking at the coin market cap, and as you guys can see, we have a market cap of 124 billion. We have a 24-hour volume of 13.5, and then a Bitcoin dominance of 54%. So to take away from that, it actually looks fairly similar to yesterday. The only difference I'm seeing actually is a slightly lower market cap and a higher Bitcoin dominance. Reason being for this is we're seeing altcoins drop more than we're seeing Bitcoin, and we're also seeing the market as a whole drop. As you guys can see, Bitcoin is only down by 3.7%, while majority of the altcoins are down much higher, I guess, than the Bitcoin. So you can see that Bitcoin is actually down by 3.7, but you can see XRP, Ethereum, Litecoin, they're all down by 3, 4, 5%, while EOS is actually down by 10%. Majority of the market is down. It's all seemingly in red, down by, I'd like to say average is like 6 or 7%, quite a bit. We are seeing some double-digit coins in the red zone, which isn't that good. But otherwise, Bitcoin is unfortunately below the 3,800, and Litecoin is just holding on by a thread, the $30 support line, now at $30.34. We see XRP at 34 cents and Stellar at 14 cents, down by 5.7%. So before you guys get super mad at me for saying that I said Litecoin bull, being that Jim Breyer is a Litecoin bull, or he's pro Litecoin and the article says pro Bitcoin, I'd like to clarify something before I get a lot of negativity. I pulled up a graph here, and as you guys can see, this is actually my Photoshop, and this is the Litecoin chart from the coin market cap. This is what Litecoin's price is. Now, when I go like this and hide it, you can see Bitcoin's price right here. You can see the current price to USD of Bitcoin. Now, obviously, they are higher intervals, but the pattern that Bitcoin and Litecoin formed are almost identical. So when I say that Litecoin and Bitcoin are similar, and in some articles I discuss Litecoin and Bitcoin, I switch it around in the title, it's due to the fact that Litecoin and Bitcoin are traded so similarly in terms of following each other. Bitcoin is to Litecoin its older brother. Whatever Bitcoin does, Litecoin likes to follow it. So you can see here we have Litecoin, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin. They're practically exactly the same. Even if I move this up slightly, oops, did not mean to do that. But you can see here Litecoin and then Bitcoins. So I do want to just slightly move up Bitcoins. There we go. Now check this out. You can see once again, Litecoin to Bitcoin, they're seemingly identical. Like, they look so beyond similar, it's almost impossible to tell the difference. If I got rid of Litecoin and Bitcoin's name, the charts would look almost identical. So you can see Bitcoin here, it had its peak run up and then it fell down, pyramiding down. Litecoin had its peak run up and then it pyramids down. They're almost the same. So for me to say that they are traded similar, and the fact that the article says here on CCN, Bitcoin, doesn't scare billionaire crypto bull Jim Breyer, it can also be said that Litecoin also does. So that's the point I wanted to get across, but that's so minute compared to the article I want to discuss. So who is Jim Breyer and why is he important? Jim Breyer is one of the first venture investors. Jim Breyer made much of his fortune investing in social networking. I believe it was Facebook. It says after 28 years of the venture firm Axel Partners, Breyer now invests through his own Breyer Capital and is getting a big on artificial intelligence. The VC scored a new exit with S&P Global acquired artificial intelligence analytics. He has invested in over 40 companies. He currently served the board of Blackstone's 21st Century Fox. And as you can see, he has a net worth of $2.7 billion. So even if he isn't that important, he does have a lot of power because he has $2.7 billion, which is, I'd like to say, a fair amount of money. So moving that on now to crypto. He then says Bitcoin nuclear winter doesn't scare billionaire crypto bull Jim Breyer, you know? So as I scroll down, it then says billionaire investor and venture capitalist Jim Breyer stated that despite a prolonged crypto nuclear winter, which we've seen, and what I mean by nuclear winter is basically a bear market, he still believes that the promise offered by technology is too great for it to be permanently buried by short-term market movements. Speaking at the 2018 Fortune Global Tech Forum in Guangzhou, China, Breyer noted that while these are testing times for the crypto investment space, such periods take place in cycles, and the current cycle will eventually come to an end. So this downtrend is a cycle, and he thinks it will end, and we will see the opposite of it. In a session at the event, Breyer, who has investments in Ethereum and VeChain, as well as other crypto startup circle, referred to the ongoing market situation as an inevitable part of a market process that takes place roughly once every decade. According to him, despite the turmoil associated with crypto assets, blockchain technology has achieved a critical mass of mainstream and research and adoption, which makes a future for crypto rebound a near certainty at some point in the future. So if that's not enough to you guys to say maybe I shouldn't sell my last bit of crypto and I should just hold on to it in the long term as a slow long-term savings account for the future, like a bond, it'll be a pretty smart idea. Then says CCN reportedly the plummeting price of all major coins had affected crypto mining severely, creating a situation where it no longer is profitable to make many small and large-scale miners to actually mine Bitcoin. Market leader Bitcoin recently fell to a 13-month low. Total crypto market's currently only worth $140 billion, a fifth of its worth as at January 2018. At press time. So he says in his words, so many that the very best computer scientists and deep learning PhD students and postdocs are working on blockchain because they have so much fundamental interest in what blockchain can mean. You don't want to get against the best and brightest in the world. So that's coming directly from Breyer himself. So he's a very smart, successful man. You know, don't, fully dive deep into what he says and take everything he says literally, but definitely add that to a conglomerate of all the people we talk about and use that to make your own decisions on what to invest in. You know, we said what he invested in Ethereum, VeChain. Those could be coins you could potentially add to a portfolio, but definitely do your research and make a conglomerate fundamental, inference to make a judgment call on what you should own, sell, buy, when to trade it, etc., etc. So moving on from that, we now look at Litecoin. We saw Litecoin, we saw Bitcoin, very similar charts here. Once again, you saw my little comparison I did on Photoshop. Now you're seeing the difference between Litecoin and Bitcoin. They are almost identical charts. Yes, the price is vastly different. One is at $29. One is over $3,700. That is a huge difference. But the charts itself, negating the price, look very, 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 very similar. So I do just want to pull up Litecoin on its daily so we can actually get a fairly good look at this. Hold on, setting it all up for you guys. This is real time. I don't edit practically anything out of this. So you can see right here. So hopefully I can keep it real with you guys, but you can see right here, we're now looking at Litecoin on its daily. There's a couple things that are going to happen, and I did put out a poll today, if you didn't see it, basically asking, do you guys want to see my long-term or end of 2018 guess as to where Litecoin's price will be, as well as, top 10 coins to hold moving into 2019. And I'm most likely going to do that one for you guys as well. But to kind of sum up, where this price could potentially lead to, Litecoin is trading fairly low. You can see it's having some sort of double bottom here. We had a resistance up at the top here at $34, $34.50. You can see it's finding a support at $29 or $30. Around that $29 is to be, exact $29.15, $29.10. You can see there's an interesting, thing happening right now. Not only do we bounce off of this support line as well as the downtrend that we're using as support as well, we're coming back down. The issue here is there's only one support, it's that $29 level. If we break through here, there's really not going to be much of a support until we reach the $23 level, which will be fairly low. If we break through that, we'll fall to $20. Yes, I think it is possible. It is definitely very, very, very possible. Do I think it's going to break below 20 this very moment if we see a pullback? It's possible, but it will only be temporary because it will cause a wick and we'll move right back up to this huge line of support. But we are nearing oversold once again. And you've seen in the past that this, run pulled us down into extremely oversold. The reason I don't think it's going to do it again is due to the fact that we're pretty much teeter-tottering on becoming oversold now. So in the actual time that this does decide to break bearish, if it does and fall lower, I can only see it falling down around $23 and then pulling back up. Truly, if we did fall lower, I'd be extremely shocked, and I don't think it would be called for. That would show manipulation, but I don't think it's going to do that. I think if it does fall, it's going to fall to 23. But it'll be very interesting. It has a lot of potential right now to move up. Truly, it does have a lot of potential to see a slight correction in price. We haven't seen that in a very long time. It is possible, but the odds seem to be stacked against it as of this moment. So a pullback down and for the long term is definitely a possibility. You can see Litecoin is also teeter-tottering on its weekly on being oversold. So I'd be very shocked if we fell lower. If we did, it would be down to that $3,000 mark. You can see right here, price broke below its high-low MMA for its weekly. The first time, I think, in history on Coinbase's weekly chart on tradingview.com. You can see we broke beautifully down. Unfortunately, it's a, it's like a rose. It's beautiful in the fact that it was so easily traced, but it also has thorns in the fact that we broke bearish and fell lower. You can see where it's seeing support, and you can see why I have these lines drawn. You can see right here, 37.88 is, or sorry, let's do it more like 36.99, or wherever the price is currently. Let's just say 3,700 is where support is for this coin. You can see where that flip happened, that little dip. I'll draw it out for you guys. So this little thing right here, the boop, and then shut out. That's showing a support right there. Pretty strong support. You can also see if it broke lower, you can see where that wick tested, as well as this resistance here at around $3,000 is acting as another support for this coin. So if we manage to break through like $3,650, $3,700, we're most likely going to fall down to $3,000 flat, being its next support. Do I think it's likely? No, because we are teeter-tottering on oversold. Will it happen? It's possible. Do I think it will? No. It'll be very shocking if we did manage to become oversold on Bitcoin's weekly, because I'm just showing you guys we're moving all the way back to like when this first loaded on, which was in 2015. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, almost 5 years now, or 4 years. We've been trading above the oversold line. So that's another indicator too, is the fact that if we do become oversold, that's huge. We haven't seen this in 5 years. It's probably smart to start, accumulating some of these tokens. Let's just move on to its daily, just so we can get a quick glimpse, and then we'll move on to Ethereum and XLM. So yeah, you can see here what exactly I'm referring to on its daily. You can also see it is so like low right now in terms of, there is some slight volume, but it is so oversold, or it was extremely oversold for the past, from the 15th all the way to the 27th, so almost 2 weeks of being oversold, and now it finally broke out of that, and it looks like it's headed back down. So we'll see. It's acting as a support right now. We'll see if it holds. You can see where the support is. You can see where we broke down. We broke down here. We fell. You can see where the support is that we're using. We're using 3684 as a support. We'll see if it holds. It'll be very interesting. I don't think we're going to break down due to the fact that we are very close to becoming oversold, but it is possible. It is possible. And I actually am more so thinking that it could break down. That also plays a very interesting factor in Ethereum. Why I'm more leaning toward, it's a very tough call at this point, because some tokens show that consolidation is needed. Some tokens show that it wants to go down. Some show that it wants to stay up. For example, Litecoin, the way Litecoin looks like it's going to consolidate out. I'd be shocked if it fell. Bitcoin shows that it's consolidating out. Same thing. Ethereum shows it needs to consolidate. You can see here we have another like 2 to 3 weeks of consolidation until it tests this point, but it is possible that it could break earlier than that. It could break the 15th of December and fall lower. XLM, on the other hand, looks like it needs to come down. XLM, for a token that somebody invested in, looks like it needs to keep coming down, unfortunately. There will be a very good buying opportunity soon. you know, when we go next to 5, we'll talk about that when it gets there. But you can see this needs to continue to scale down to reach 0.5, somewhere on this yellow line in terms of an uptrend. You can see it's setting higher lows, and you can see it's setting lower, or sorry, higher lows being 1, 3, 5, and lower highs being 0, 2, and 4. You can see that symmetrical triangle bull flag, whatever you want to call it, forming. That's something we're going to have to pay attention to. I do think there's a lot of potential within XLM, so do pay attention to that. That is why I'm saying that we need to head lower. At least XLM, we'll see if that plays a role with the rest of the market. But as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, give away at 10,000 subs for either Ledger Nano or some Litecoin. I guess I'll let the winner choose. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace.